The snow swirled around Mercy General's glowing emergency sign as a shivering golden retriever mix pressed against the glass doors. Dr. Logan Wright, a pediatrician with a reputation for keeping emotions locked tight, nearly stepped over the trembling dog. But those desperate brown eyes stopped him cold. No collar. No owner in sight. Just a hospital entrance. Leo refused to leave, like he was waiting for someone who'd never walk out. Logan crouched, his breath fogging the air. "You'll freeze out here, buddy." Leo whimpered but didn't budge. Nurse Chloe sighed behind him. "He's been here 3 weeks. Document won't take food. Won't let anyone touch him." The dog's gaze stayed fixed on those sliding doors. Logan's chest tightened. This wasn't just loyalty. This was a heartbreak playing out in real time. The ER break room buzzed with gossip. "That dog? His owner coded in Bay 4 last month," muttered an orderly. "Old guy Langley." Logan's coffee cup froze mid-sip. Gilbert Langley's chart flashed in his mind. Deceased, no family. Now his dog kept vigil outside, starving in the cold. A question burned in Logan's throat. How do you tell a creature their person isn't coming back? Logan tossed his car blanket over Leo that night. The dog flinched but didn't run. For the first time, those wary eyes softened. As snow dusted the fleece, Logan noticed the scars on Leo's paws, worn raw from weeks of waiting. The hospital doors hissed open, casting a sterile glow. Leo's ears perked, then drooped. Again, the ritual of hope and disappointment, playing on loop. "Saw that mutt chase the ambulance," the janitor grunted, mopping up slush. Owner was half-conscious, kept calling for Leo. Logan's stomach dropped. That meant Leo had watched Gilbert get wheeled inside and never saw him leave. Now, every night, he returned to the last place his human had been. Not lost. Not abandoned. Just tragically, fiercely loyal. The file photo said it all. Gilbert, gaunt but grinning, scratching Leo's ears in a sunlit yard. Terminal diagnosis. Died alone. Logan's finger hovered over the emergency contact. Rosemary Langley, sister. A longing phone number. One call could unravel this whole mystery. But outside, Leo let out a howl so mournful, it rattled the ER's double doors. Dust choked Gilbert's abandoned bungalow. Logan's flashlight beam caught a toppled dog bowl, chew toys neatly lined up. Then, a drawer stuck. Inside, a vet bill with a scribbled note. "If anything happens, Leo goes to NO shelter. He waits for me." Logan's throat closed. Leo hadn't just lost an owner. He'd lost the man who'd sworn to come back. Gilbert loved that dog more than oxygen. The neighbor rasped, wiping her eyes. Cancer ate him alive, but he'd still crawl to the park to throw Leo's ball. She pointed to the hospital looming 2 blocks away. That fool dog watched the ambulance take him. Ran after it like his life depended on it. Because it had. And now Leo's whole world was those sliding glass doors. Rosemary Clara Langley nearly dropped the phone. "Gilbert's dead?" The silence crackled. Then, brittle. "And you're telling me his dog's been outside the hospital this whole time?" Logan heard a choked sob. Keys jingled. "I'm on my way." 20 years of estrangement didn't matter now. Not when Leo's suffering mirrored her own. Waiting for closure that never came. The wind nearly stole the envelope before Logan saw it. "To whoever finds Leo," Gilbert's shaky handwriting bled through the page. "He'll wait forever. Don't let him." Leo whined, nosing the paper like he could smell Gilbert's fingers on it. And there, in the fading light, Logan made a promise. To the dog, to Gilbert's ghost, to himself. This ended tonight. The sleek business card read, Garrett Frost, Pet Branding Agency, in raised gold letters. That shelter mutt's worth 6 figures with the right backstory. Garrett smirked to his assistant, scrolling through photos of Leo outside the hospital. "Find me leverage. Adoption records, old vet bills, anything to prove we own him now." His polished loafers clicked toward the door. The hunt was on. The animal shelter's microchip scanner beeped. "See? Registered to Gilbert Langley in 2020, said Amber, the foster coordinator, shoving files at Logan. "Garrett's lying." Security footage played on her phone, Garrett bribing a clerk to alter records. Leo licked Amber's hand, whimpering. These were his people, and Garrett wanted to rip him away for a damn Super Bowl ad campaign. Not while Logan was breathing. A certified letter slapped Logan's desk. Seize custody of animal ID #Leo/Langley immediately. Attached, a forged adoption contract with Gilbert's signature smudged just enough to look real. Leo growled at the paper, hackles rising. Across town, Garrett wired payment to a shady vet, the first step in monetizing a grieving dog's viral fame. The game was dirty, but Garrett played to win. The alarm panel blinked, disarmed, as Logan picked Garrett's office lock. Leo waited in the car, tense. Inside, a filing cabinet drawer slid open, and there it was. The original contract with Gilbert's real signature, plus Garrett's scribbled notes. Exploit the loyal dog angle for GoFundMe cash. Camera flashes captured every page. Outside, headlights flared. Too late. Garrett's Porsche rolled into the lot. Logan's Facebook post exploded by dawn. Scanned documents. Bribed officials. Garrett's own greedy handwriting. The local news picked it up by noon. By 3 p.m., protesters swarmed Garrett's office with #JusticeForLeo signs. Leo watched from the shelter's window, tail-thumping as online donations for Gilbert's memorial fund hit $50,000. Garrett's empire was crumbling. But cornered rats bite hardest. A dispatcher's voice crackled over Logan's radio. Chemical spill near the river. Evacuate all pets. Leo barked, tugging his leash toward the truck. Floodwaters already swallowed the trailer park's lower streets. Somewhere in that mess was Kayla's terrier, Daisy, and dozens more. Leo didn't wait for commands. He plunged into the current, a furry lifeline headed straight for the chaos. The brown water reached Leo's chest as he waded toward a floating doghouse. Inside, Daisy and 3 puppies shivered on a makeshift raft. Kayla's screams guided them. Over here. Logan hauled the animals into the boat just as the current ripped the doghouse apart. Leo shook off, already scanning for the next distress yip. He'd lost one family. He wouldn't lose another. Please. Kayla sobbed, pointing at her submerged porch. Daisy's puppies are trapped under there. Leo dove before Logan could react. Seconds ticked. Then, a splash. Leo surfaced, a squirming pup clamped gently in his jaws. One after another, he delivered all 5 to the boat's edge. Kayla collapsed over them, tears mixing with rainwater. The camera crew filming for the 11 o'clock news got every heroic second. The collapsing roof groaned as Logan reached for the last kitten. Leo barked a warning too late. The beam cracked, slamming Logan into the floodwater. Darkness. Then, teeth in his collar. Leo dragged him gasping to a tree root. The camera panned up, man and dog clinging together as the house collapsed behind them. The reporter whispered, "Folks, we just witnessed a miracle." The collapsing roof groaned as Logan reached for the last kitten. Leo barked a warning too late. The beam cracked, slamming Logan into the floodwater. Darkness. Then, teeth in his collar. Leo dragged him gasping to a tree root. The camera panned up, man and dog clinging together as the house collapsed behind them. The reporter whispered, "Folks, we just witnessed a miracle." The voicemail hissed with venom. "That shelter burns tonight, right?" Logan's blood ran cold as headlights swept the parking lot. Leo growled at the shadowy figure pouring gasoline along the fence. The match flickered, then a police siren wailed. Too late. Garrett sprinted, but Leo was faster. The dog's teeth clamped on his ankle just as officers tackled him. Justice, at last, tasted like gasoline and karma. Cameras rolled as Logan dumped Garrett's files on the mayor's podium. Proof he faked animal ownership papers for profit. The crowd roared. Then Clara stepped up, voice shaking. "My brother Gilbert trusted Leo with his life. And this monster wanted to sell that trust." Garrett's lawyer quit on the spot. Leo, sitting proudly beside Logan, let out one sharp bark. The gavel slammed. Gilbert's last words? Clara wiped her eyes at the memorial. "Tell Leo the first tried to come home." The crowd sniffled as Leo nudged Gilbert's photo with his nose. Then, miraculously, he picked up a single rose from the display and carried it to Clara. The collective gasp was louder than the applause. Even the toughest cop wiped his eyes. Grief had finally become grace. Wet cement glistened under the Gilbert's Haven sign. Logan guided Leo's paw into the mix, forever etching his journey beside Gilbert's name. The workers cheered, but Leo was distracted, sniffing at a familiar scent. The camera zoomed in. Gilbert's old flannel, buried in the time capsule behind the plaque. Logan's breath caught. "You knew, didn't you, boy?" Leo's wagging tail said it all. The bank manager stammered. "An anonymous donor just matched all your funds." The screen flashed $1 million as Logan's knees buckled. Then, a letter slid under the door. Gilbert's handwriting. For Leo's future. Gee. The postmark? Dated 2 days before he died. Clara sobbed into Leo's fur. Some promises outlast even death. The clinic's doors opened that afternoon, with 100 strays already waiting in line. Kids squealed as Leo demonstrated gentle mouth by carrying eggs in his teeth. "He's just like in the news," one girl whispered. But when a shy boy in a wheelchair reached out, Leo did something extraordinary. He flopped onto his back, offering his belly. The teacher filmed as the boy giggled for the first time all year. Gilbert's legacy? It wasn't just a building. It was this moment, multiplying. "I used to think saving lives was about medicine," Logan told the documentary crew, scratching Leo's ears. "Then this much saved me from becoming the kind of man who walks past suffering." The camera caught the exact second Leo licked his scarred palm, the one injured in the flood. No words needed. The YouTube comments would later break records. Who's cutting onions? The scarred rescue dog cowered in the kennel corner until Leo trotted over and play bowed. Clara gasped. "That's Gilbert's move." As the pit bull tentatively wagged its tail, the shelter worker murmured, "We call him Gus. Been here 400 days. Clara didn't hesitate. The adoption photo, Leo, Gus, and her grinning under Gilbert's favorite oak tree, would trend for weeks. Family isn't blood. It's who waits for you. The montage opened with shaky phone footage, Leo waiting at the hospital. Then flood rescues, courtrooms, kids' laughter. But the clincher? Gilbert's home video playing over the final shot. "Be good, Leo. I love ya." Cut to present-day Leo, head cocked at the screen, then howling along with the recording. 10 million shares in 24 hours. Even the cynics cried. At day's end, Logan and Leo always walked to Mercy General's entrance. Old habit. But tonight, Leo didn't pause at the doors. He kept walking, past the awning, past the memories, to nudge Logan toward home. The last frame? Leo's wagging shadow stretching long beside Logan's, finally free to leave the past behind. Because love isn't about waiting forever. It's about knowing when to follow new footsteps. A faded newspaper clipping fluttered from Garrett's seized files. Local businessman sues terminally ill veteran over property dispute. The photo showed a younger Gilbert, gaunt but defiant in court, against none other than Garrett's father. Leo whined, pawing at the date, 1 week before Gilbert adopted him. This was never about money. This was revenge on the dog a dying man loved. Glass shattered at 3 a.m. Leo's thunderous barks woke Logan as shadowy figures ransacked the clinic's medication cabinet. Security footage revealed Garrett's associate, but more chilling was the whispered, "The old man's dog dies tonight." Logan's hands shook reloading Gilbert's shotgun. Some lines you don't cross. And Leo? He stood guard at the nursery ward, a living barrier between danger and the recovering rescues. The meatball rolled to a stop at Leo's feet, reeking of bitter almonds. Before Logan could react, Leo clamped down, not to eat, but to protect the other dogs. The vet's diagnosis: enough cyanide to kill a mastiff. As Leo fought for life on 4 fluids, Logan made a call. "You want war, Frost? You just declared it on camera." The ensuing police raid found Garrett's storage unit packed with forged veterinary drugs. Deja vu struck as Leo, still weak, dragged his 4-pole back to Mercy General's entrance. Nurses cried when they understood. He wasn't waiting for Gilbert this time. He was standing guard over the pediatric ward's night shift. The security footage, later leaked, showed Leo intercepting a suspicious doctor at 4 a.m., who just happened to be Garrett's bail-jumping accomplice. Some heroes wear fur instead of capes. Sorting through Gilbert's army footlocker, Clara froze. Beneath his purple heart lay a dog-eared photo of young Garrett with Gilbert in Vietnam. "My CO's kid," read the scribble. "Promised I'd watch out for him." The bitter irony choked her. Gilbert had spent his final years quietly paying Garrett's father's medical debts. And this was how loyalty was repaid. Leo nuzzled the photo, as if to say, "I know. I waited anyway." Garrett smirked during his 60-minute segment. That shelter's a tax scam. Then the producers played never-before-seen footage. Gilbert's hospice nurse testifying about Garrett's visits demanding money. The mic caught Garrett's hissed, "You're dead," to Leo's photo. The studio audience gasped as live cameras cut to police arresting Garrett for witness intimidation. Leo, watching at the shelter, tilted his head and yawned. Justice was boring when you'd already won. The VA hospital director hesitated. "We can't have aggressive breeds in psych wards." Leo promptly flopped onto a veteran's lap, submitting to belly rubs. The soldier, a 6 feet 4 inches Marine with PTSD, burst into tears. "Just like my unit's mascot in Fallujah." By day's end, Leo had employed 8 shelter dogs as official therapy animals. Gilbert's handwritten note framed in the program. Dogs heal what medicine can't. Flames licked the shelter's foster wing at midnight. Leo bolted through smoke, herding panicked dogs toward Logan's voice. Thermal cameras later showed the stunning truth. He'd run past 4 exits to rescue Gus first, the pit bull too terrified to move. As firefighters arrived, Leo collapsed beside Clara, directly over Gilbert's buried time capsule. The arsonist? A face from Garrett's mugshots. The headline? Hero dog saves 47 lives, proves love is thicker than smoke. Logan dropped the phone twice. This is the president's office. Leo's ears perked at the phrase, Medal of Bravery. The ceremony would be next month. But the real miracle? Watching Clara pin Gilbert's dog tags to Leo's harness beforehand. He earned these, she whispered. The camera zoomed in as Leo gently carried the tags to Gilbert's portrait, laying them at the frame's base. Mission complete. The lump in Logan's throat matched the one the vet found during Leo's metal physical. Advanced cardiomyopathy. Common in dogs who wait too long. The social media post was simple. Come say goodbye to a legend. Thousands flooded the clinic lawn that weekend. But the viral moment came when Leo, weak but determined, walked one last time to Mercy General's doors, then turned and nudged Logan toward home. The ultimate lesson. Sometimes love means being the one who stops waiting. Leo's paws dragged as Logan carried him down Mercy General's front steps one last dawn. The same nurses who'd once ignored him now formed a silent honor guard. With his remaining strength, Leo licked Logan's trembling hand, then turned his face toward the sunrise, just as Gilbert's favorite song played from a janitor's radio. The heart monitor flatlined as the first rays hit his golden fur. No more waiting. Gus refused to leave Leo's empty bed for 3 days. Then, on the 4th morning, the pit bull stood up, grabbed Leo's worn leash in his teeth, and trotted to the pediatric ward doors, taking over the vigil no human had asked him to keep. The security footage broke the internet anew. The loyalty gene is contagious. Clara found it taped under Gilbert's desk, for when Leo joins me. Inside, a deed to the shelter property and one line. Tell Logan to check the collar. They rushed to Leo's old tags, where microscopic engraving read, reverse side. Flipped under magnification, Gilbert's secret recipe for dog treats, with profits funding the clinic forever. Even from beyond, the old man was still providing. Logan's voice cracked reading Leo's records to stone-faced politicians. Then Gus trotted in uninvited, dropping Leo's medal on the speaker's podium. The resulting standing ovation wasn't for the speech. It was for the 200 shelter dogs now sprawled across congressional laps. The Leo Act, passed unanimously that afternoon, banning pet ownership for convicted animal abusers nationwide. 8-year-old Timmy had never spoken after the car crash, until the day he hugged Gus and whispered, "Leo sent you." His therapist's jaw dropped. The video, watched 300 million times, showed Timmy later reading aloud to shelter dogs, his stutter fading with each page. In the background, Gilbert's portrait seemed to smile. Some legacies build themselves. The counter ticked to 1 million as Gus nudged a 3-legged kitten into Logan's arms. The crowd cheered, but Logan's eyes were on the security monitor, where the feed glitched just long enough to show a golden blur beside Gus. When the janitor reviewed the tape later, pure static. But every dog in the room had wagged at that exact second. Beneath the new Leo and Gilbert Memorial Garden, workers unearthed a rusted box not on the blueprints. Inside, Gilbert's journal entry from Leo's adoption day. This crazy mutt just licked my chemo port. Guess we're stuck with each other. Wrapped in the page, 2 weathered dog treats, still faintly smelling of peanut butter. Gus ate one ceremoniously. The other went to Timmy, who whispered, "Thanks, Leo," to the wind. On the shelter's anniversary, a silver-haired man in military dress blues lingered at Gilbert's portrait. Before Logan could speak, Gus barreled into the stranger's legs, whining desperately. The veteran's tears fell as he showed his ID, Captain James Frost, Garrett's father. His whispered apology to the empty collar said more than headlines ever could. Redemption sometimes comes on 4 paws. Logan woke gasping, not from nightmares, but because Gus was licking his face with Leo's exact rhythm. The clock read 3:17 a.m. Gilbert's old flannel, untouched for months, lay crumpled on the floor, smelling faintly of wet dog. When the security feed reviewed that night, it showed every kennel dog sitting up simultaneously at 3:16, tails wagging at something beyond the cameras. Mercy General's new therapy wing opened with Gus dozing under Leo's portrait. Kids painted his nails while veterans braided his collar with military cords. Outside, the renamed Langley Wright Animal Trauma Center shone in the midday sun. And if visitors swore they sometimes saw two shadows where one dog stood, well, every hero deserves a guardian angel, especially the furry ones who teach us how to love.